So in this video, we're going to talk about how to get the Arduino to create sound. Sound is basically pressurization of the air moving through space and impinging onto your ear. And basically that vibrates your eardrum, and that's how you pick up sound. So that's actually also similar to how we're going to create sound. We need the Arduino to be able to push something to make sound. The easiest way of doing this is using something called a Piezo. Basically, it contains a small little ceramic and brass disc inside of it, and as electricity is applied to it, it flexes. So here we can see that when positive is on one side, it flexes in one direction, and when positive is on the opposite side, it flexes in the other direction. This back and forth motion creates a sound pressurization wave, and that travels through the air, and that's what you hear. Here's the piezo, what it looks like in real life. You actually note that some piezos are polarized. This means that there's a positive and a negative, and it should only be connected in the right way. Here's the schematic symbol for a piezo, just in case you ever see it in a circuit. So now we're going to connect it up. So using a red wire, connect digital 3 into the breadboard here, connect it into the positive, connect the negative of the piezo into the breadboard, and wire that back to ground. So that completes the circuit. So to begin, we're going to go and collect the existing code. So we can just jump ahead a little bit here. So if you go to this particular link that I'll provide a link to on the notes on the side, select all of that, Control All, Control A, and then copy. Come to your Arduino program, paste or Control V, and then we'll start at the top. So what we're going to do here is we're going to dive in the deep end. And we're just going to take advantage of this already existing code to be able to do something that we want. So you're going to be able to do this quite a lot, as there's a lot of Arduino code on the internet. The important thing is knowing how to go about using it. So we're going to just define a couple highlights in this particular code so that you can take advantage of it and you can do as you please with it. So this particular code is provided to us by Dipto. Thank you. And what it does is it starts by going through each note. And so these are each particular note, if you're familiar with music, B, C, D, E, F, and then in different octaves as well. And this number here is the frequency at which the Arduino is going to play that note. So the higher the frequency, the higher the pitch the note is. As you can see, it goes up. And so depending on which note that we want, we can use those in a melody. The next part here is something called an array. It's a little bit more complicated, but what it is it's a bucket of buckets. So think of it as bucket inception. So int is whole number. Square brackets means the following thing is going to be an array, and curly bracket means begin the array. And the first one is a number, another number, another number, and each one is separated by a column. So each one is a bucket in themselves. So these defines at the top are actually one-off declarations of a very special number that is only defined once. So this note DS8 contains the number 4978, and I can use that throughout the rest of the program. Here you can see note E7, which is a little bit higher up here, is used first, second, then a skip, then third. So this is actually an example of this is actually the Mario tone. So basically what's going on here is these are the sequence of the notes. And so you say particular note, wait, particular note. And so this continues. And so this is it played out until the end of the array. Then next up, what we have is the tempo, so the amount of time that the note is played over. So we can see that it's a fairly standard bass, and then a short run, and then more standard basses. This is the second part, so the underworld or level 2, different notes again, and a slightly different bass. This is defining where we're plugging in the buzzer. And the only other part that you should think about is this part here. So it defines which ones are played. So the first song is played twice, and then the underworld tone is played once after that, and then we loop back through. There's a little bit more intricate programming down here. This is to manage the buzzer because we're using something called pulse width modulation, so that we can send a frequency to the buzzer fairly quickly. So this code manages all that, and we don't need to get into that in this particular one. All that we're concerned about is it gives us the ability to play music. And if you're feeling up to it, you can modify this to be any song that you desire. And that is how we play a tone on the Arduino. Hope you enjoy, and I'll be interested to see you create your own tones.